Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It has been a minute since I posted, and then I decided to post on vacation. Whatever. All right, so I am sitting here today because I have just been thinking, and I'm like, I need to do a video about this. My view on marriage. Not the whole thing because we'll be here forever, but a couple of things of a couple of bits of things that I have learned along the way. And we are currently on vacation because we just celebrated our 10th anniversary. 10 years married. We've been together way longer than that, but that's a whole nother story. But mostly just from talking to single people, married people. We're an adult hotel at the moment, and we were talking to a couple last night and the night before too. And I'm like, wow, it's literally the same things that everybody says in different ways. And it's different ways because everybody has their own experiences. But we spoke to a couple last night, and they're also celebrating their 10th year. And I think they said in November or something like that. And so my husband says to the gentleman, and says to him, "Oh, congratulations, how has it been?" And he goes, "Boy, it's been tough." And guess what? I can relate. It has not been tough every day, but it has been tough. There has been, I can definitely say, more great times versus bad times. But to be honest, we don't really focus on the great times in some instances, because when the bad times hit, it's really hard to remember the good times. Just a fly. So basically, from talking to everyone, plus single people too, for some reason, not for some reason, there are girl trips happening here as well. Oh my gosh, sitting outside was a bad idea because I don't like bugs, and I'm just seeing bugs everywhere. Sorry, I digress. So lost my train of thought. What I have learned in marriage, what I'm still learning in marriage, because I'm not perfect. Our marriage is definitely not perfect. There is no such thing as perfect. We already know this. What I have learned is it is not possible to know your spouse. We have been together for 19 years, and he does some stuff, and I'm like, is everything okay? Why would you even do that? Like, who does that? And not only that too, like certain things that you would do to me as a person, or certain things you would think that I would think as a person, and I'm like, you've known me all my life. How in the world would you think that that's what I was trying to say? You should know what I'm trying to say by now. In fact, my brain should be your brain. But guess what? It doesn't work like that. Even you can be, we haven't been together for 100 years, so I can't speak on that. But even being together for so long, we grew up together. There are still definitely moments where you're just like mind blown as to what the person thinks and how they react. And that's the realities of life in general. I guess not even just in marriages, but in general, even having a friend for so long and stuff like that. Things happen, and then you just wonder, what in the world is this person doing? What is going on? But I guess it's all part of growing, because guess what? I'm changing every moment too, where I adapt to the different environments that I'm in. As well. So I guess as we adapt, certain views and certain things change, and so I guess you can't really hold that person responsible. But marriage is not easy. It's beautiful, especially on a day like this. Look at this beautiful background behind me, where we get to celebrate and be with each other, and just hit these milestones. It's beautiful. But am I gonna remember this lovely moment when we're in the middle of an argument? We don't even call it arguments anymore. We call it discussions, because guess what? Arguments are normal. Discussions are even normal. So when you call it a discussion versus an argument, it's so much better, because you're not putting that negative connotation on it, and you have to discuss things in order to be able to know which direction you want to go. So if you want to be in a marriage where you don't argue or have discussions, you're by yourself, because guess what? You're making all decisions by yourself. You are talking to yourself, and that's not healthy at all, not for you or for your partner. I've also realized that the love that I had for my husband when we first got together is not the love that I have now. The love that I have now is muddled in with appreciation and history and memories. Like everything just wells up into one to make the love better. I don't know if that's a better word, but better. So for me, I think growing together and experiencing things really fosters the relationship to make the love real. I mean, there are many times when you hear about people divorcing and they say that they're divorcing because they were unhappy or they weren't on the same page, and we hear all kinds of stories because my husband is a talker, okay? If you're in the elevator with him, please note by the time you get out of the elevator, even if you're going one floor down, he will talk to you. He will talk to you. He spoke to the Uber driver so much, and I'm like, sir, can you stop talking to this man? He's trying to just drive. Leave him alone. But in that, we get to hear a lot of people's stories and things like that, and everybody's saying the exact same thing. So I'm not here to lie to you or to tell you anything new. I'm sure you already knew already, but marriage is a learning curve. There is nothing, somebody cleaning in my background. There is nothing that any one person can sit here and tell you, this is what you need to do to have a better marriage, 10 secrets to marriage. There are no secrets, okay? Because my marriage is going to be different from your marriage. Your marriage is different from my marriage. We believe in one, and this one word sometimes can, depending on the way he says it, can be really exciting or really annoying, because we operate in our, we do everything as one. We operate as a one unit. And in the great times of our finances are one, and the great times of our decision with the kids are one, it's beautiful. On the times when he said he didn't want the dessert, I get the dessert, and then he eats the dessert and then tells me we're one, it's annoying, because I'm like, yo, this is not about one. We ain't got one stomach, we got two stomachs, okay? In those moments, it's definitely annoying. But in every other moment, it works for us, because he's not going to make a decision that's going to affect our household without discussing with me, and vice versa. We don't make any financial commitments single-handedly. All our money goes into one account. I mean, that's a whole nother topic, discussion, video. I don't know if I'm even equipped to discuss that. But I mean, I can only tell you what we do. And this man is cleaning. I'll be back. So of course it started to rain. So I had to move to the lobby. So if you hear people walking up and down, it is what it is. Can't go to my room because my husband is asleep, so I'm making it work. So back to what I was saying. So our finances being together as one is definitely something that we started right away. And I think had we not started it right away, it would have been really difficult to transition after the fact. So I'm really glad. I don't know who told us to do it. To be honest, I don't remember. Okay, that was many years ago. But it was the best decision for us that we could have ever made. Another decision that's really good for us that we work with is counseling. We go to counseling in the good times and in the bad times. The bad times is like, thank you, Jesus, somebody else that can hear me and listen to what I'm trying to say, and then help me to articulate it to him, because sometimes I just feel like, yo, we're not speaking the same language. You do not understand what I'm saying. But having that mediator, somebody in the middle that doesn't care about either one of you, that has no, minus collecting their check. They don't know you guys on a personal level, so they're not going to take sides, you hope. And we haven't had anybody take sides, to be honest, but it's definitely great to have that person that can sit there and say, okay, what I hear you say is this, and what I hear him say is this. And sometimes, without the mediator even talking, we have been to a session where I was like, we just wasted our money because we did all work, and she just sat there. Because he was talking, and I was actually hearing him, and I was talking, and he was hearing me. And it was like amazing. There's some people staring at me. This is so awkward. I don't know how people do this. Okay. And it was amazing because he was talking on a real level, telling me, his thoughts and stuff on things. And at home, I didn't hear it, but paying somebody X amount per hour. I heard it. I guess when you pay for something, your brain is like, girl, you better retain so you don't waste your money. But it works. In the good times, counseling can go one or two ways, okay, depending on how it's done and who's doing it. It can go in the direction of learning and everything is great and you're appreciative of the information you're receiving, or it can go in the direction of, we're talking about some difficult stuff, some stuff that I thought we had handled, but as we're discussing it, I'm like, wait, I don't think we came to a resolution on that. I still feel some type of way. And then it brings up like other feelings and emotions that you weren't expecting, and you're like, man, we were having a good day until we brought up this topic. So in those aspects, it's a little bit like, what were we thinking? But in the end, it's so good to do it in good times because it's a healthy environment to discuss the bad times. It's a healthy environment where it's like you're not upset, you're just talking from a feelings point of view. And hopefully you've had time to reflect on whatever the issues were, to be able to hone in on what you wanted to say. Because I don't know about you, but I have moments when we're having a discussion, a heated discussion, an argument, whatever you want to call it, where I have so many things I want to say. But then when I open my mouth, nothing comes out, and I'm just so mad. I just sit and vent and do the silent treatment, which I'm very good at, which is not healthy, guys. Don't do it. And then it's like, after the issue is over, and I'm like, man, I wish I said this, I wish I said that, I wish I expressed myself in a better way. So the counseling, and even not even in a counseling session, but in like a discussion session after the fact, it's really great because these are the moments where you come up with, I wish I had said this, I could have said this better, and things like that. And my husband is like a sponge. Whenever we go to conferences, or sometimes marriage conferences, and he soaks up everything. Like, he will literally just spit it back out to me. And they said, we need to, his favorite thing to do is, what I heard you say was, and he'll repeat everything that I said. And I'm like, no, that's not what I meant. And he's like, okay, but that's literally what you said. And you can't even argue with that. But it helps you to understand that sometimes we say things, we mean to say them, but we don't mean to say them like that. Like, I can say, what's up to you? And I can say what's up to you in a cool way, or I can say what's up to you like, yo, what you want? Like, so it just depends on the tone and the way the person receives it. So those counseling is definitely something, I don't know, I'm holding my bag. Counseling is definitely something that works very well for us. We do it in large group settings, individually, and then as a couple with a mediator, or sometimes like we did yesterday, just sitting by the pool talking to another couple. And it's really great because when you talk to people, and it's like, I don't know, it's weird when you're married and you talk to another married couple, for some reason, especially if you don't know them, it's like they tell you their whole life story, their real experiences, not just I made it up for the gram, but their real experiences and things like that. And you're like, I'm not alone. Like, it's literally this light bulb that comes on that says, I feel like guys are all the same. Not really, but they have a lot of the same traits. Us females have a lot of the same traits. Couples, the way we relate to each other, have the same traits. So when things happen, it's like, wow, I am not alone. I thought I was the only one that felt like this, but come to find out, no, I'm not. I'm not on this alone. There are many other people who have been married long before me and will be married long after I'm dead and gone. But there are so many different experiences you can draw on. And even just talking to the couple at the pool last night, they were talking about their vacations and stuff. They're here for the wife's birthday, which happened to be the same day as my daughter's birthday. So I was super excited to connect with them. But just listening to them, like, about how they take vacations and stuff, really brought home for me about how we definitely need to do more one-on-one stuff, because we do counseling, we go on trips and stuff like that, but most of the time it's with the kids. Or, I mean, we don't do counseling with the kids, but our trips are mostly with the kids. And I was like, man, we need to take this seriously. What COVID has taught me, I mean, COVID has taught me a lot of things, But one of the things that COVID has taught me is our time together is vital. Like now, if you're not inviting me somewhere that is fruitful to my life, I'm not coming. I probably wouldn't have come anyway before because I'm always busy, but now I have another excuse not to come. But I honestly do feel that our connections, our time together is everything. Everything. So now I'm all about like us doing more date nights. We were doing date nights like every other week. On a Friday, we just go somewhere. Sometimes go nowhere at all and just be in our room for a couple of hours and tell the kids to leave us alone. There's noise in here. Hold on. So I decided to move. Somebody was talking next to me. So date nights have been a staple for us. I don't think we're at the point where we can do it every week because realistically, we're busy. Every other week works fine for us, but something that we definitely need to incorporate more in are these getaways. Like, we didn't go on a honeymoon when we got married. We were young, didn't have any money, and I don't even think it was even about that. We just didn't see the importance of it. But for right now, it's like, no, we need these trips away. Our kids are older now, 9 and 6. I don't feel as bad leaving them, because before it was always that anxiety of I don't want to be separated from the kids. I feel bad when I'm away for like a couple of hours. It's like you always got to check in. We have been checking on them a lot, but not to the point where I feel like it's hindered our enjoyment or anything like that. So going forward and this rest of this year and moving forward, we definitely need to do more trips together, whether it's once a year or twice a year. We don't even have to like get on a plane, to be honest, but somewhere just away from the kids, I would definitely recommend. It's definitely important. I don't know if I would recommend it for if you have kids that are like super young, only for me, because that would give me anxiety trying to separate. We went on a date, this is like many years ago when our kids were young, and the entire time the kids were like crying. My kids have had an iPad since they were like 11 months. I know, I'm bad, whatever. And so Brielle would FaceTime us crying, and we had her on FaceTime. Usually at the table they have like a candle or a centerpiece or whatever, and I had propped up my phone to it, and she was on FaceTime with my husband and I while we had a date. And I was like, this is ridiculous, Mabel, what are you doing? But in that moment it worked, because after like maybe 10 minutes she settled down and she was good, and we were able to have our date. Yes, she was sitting right there on video, but it worked for us. So I say all that to say that there are so many ways to be creative, so many ways to connect, and it's all about the connection. It's all about learning each other and recognizing that you're not on this alone, okay? Marriage is tough, and it's tough for everybody. Don't believe in all these people that be posting these beautiful things. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I posted a cute picture of my husband and I, but you won't catch me posting it after an argument. But and not saying that you can't post a picture of you and your boo doing your thing, but I think sometimes the misconception is everything is rosy in this marriage, or everything is rosy in this relationship, and you're the one suffering and you're alone. You're not supposed to be suffering in marriage. If you are, girl, man, get some help, okay? You guys need some help. Start off with some counseling and then work into talking to other couples, because counseling is great too, but I feel like talking to other couples is even deeper and better, because you get to hear the life, lessons and stuff that they're learning. Like a couple that I spoke to, the lady was talking about how not loading the dishwasher in a correct way irritates her, and I'm like, what? That irritates me too. Okay, I'm not crazy. Maybe I am, but I have somebody else who's crazy with me. So not that it validates you, but it makes you recognize that there are so many different ways to skin a cat, they say. So maybe you could try however they did it and be like, actually, no, we tried that didn't work for us. You may say something to the other person that they may be like, oh, okay, that might work for us. I just realized this lady's lips is on my video. I'm sorry, guys, I'm goofy. So the summary of everything is learn with your partner, grow with your partner. Do not be afraid to ask for help. Don't go and ask your girlfriend who's single for help in marriage. Like, come on, be smarter than that. And don't be living your life single when you're married. Be following your single girls all over the place or your single guys all over the place. Okay? There's a reason why the Bible talks about being equally yoked. These people can't relate to you. In fact, what's going to happen is you're going to follow them and you're going to go down a ditch, and guess what? 2 seconds later, you're going to be single with them, chilling together. Hey, you don't want that. You do not want that. You want to be married. You want to be happy. So work on the happiness. You have to work on yourself and be happy, because really and truly, your partner cannot make you happy if you are miserable on your own. They can only add to your happiness, do nice things for you that will make you feel good, but they can't make you happy, and you know that they cannot make you happy. So working on yourself is very important. And I don't know, just take a deep breath. Okay, it can be overwhelming at times, it can be sad at times, it can be like really heartbreaking at times, but there are so many more great times up ahead, and it all just depends on your perception of it. Recognizing that today may be a bad moment, but tomorrow may be better. Like, we have moments where, like yesterday, we had a great morning, a great afternoon, a partially great evening, and then like 2 seconds I was like, yo, did you just mess up my whole day? And we had a disagreement, and I'm like, you just messed up my whole day. And he looks at me and he goes, I don't know why your whole day would be messed up over something that just happened at the end of the day, and we're talking about it and we're getting over it. And I'm like, you know what, you're right, it's my perception of it. Like, I literally allowed a disagreement to negate all the great morning, the great afternoon, the great evening, and we still had a great evening. But in that moment, I felt like the whole day was ruined. And really and truly, no, it wasn't. It's your perception of it. So look at things for exactly what it is. Don't blow things out of proportion. And I know I'm sitting here happy on vacation, so I can tell you these things. But on the real, don't blow things out of proportion. Take a deep breath. If you need to take a walk and come back later, take a walk and come back later. I'm pretty sure your spouse will be more appreciative of you communicating after you have thought things through than talking in the heat of the moment. Oh, what's that? In the heat of the moment. Because realistically, heat of the moment, we don't say anything that we're supposed to say, okay? We say mean things, we do mean things. Our face be doing things, and maybe that's not even what you're thinking, but you're just so pumped. It just happens naturally. So I'm wishing you guys all the best in your marriage. I'm praying that God will definitely sustain you and protect you, and protect me too. In fact, God, please protect me first, okay? You know, these are the moments where you do something and then it comes back and it just blows up in your face. And like, man, I just spoke about this. And it's like, well, God is telling you, this is your task. Now it's time to put it to work. But I'm definitely praying for all of us, that we will grow together, that we will learn from our mistakes and work hard when the next mistake comes, when the next disappointment comes, that we will recognize that we're not alone, that we will recognize that there is help, and we are not too big nor too small to ask for it. I'm in the lobby, guys. So, guys, I will see you on the next video. I hope this video was probably like, you already know, I did not pre-plan, so I just sat here and started talking. But I hope you are able to take some nuggets from it that will be able to help you in your relationship. I doubt I'll be able to get my husband on here to get his point of view, but I would definitely recommend sitting down with your spouse today, tomorrow, whenever you guys decide, and looking at some of the aspects that works for you and trying to elaborate on those aspects, and then looking at the things that don't work for you and figure out how you can get help in those aspects. And be like my husband, start talking to other people. It's so mind-blowing when you speak to other people. Start off with strangers. In fact, stay with strangers. Sometimes the people that you know, okay, they be setting you up and they take your business to the streets, and all of that's foolishness. And look, I came to you for help, not for you to be taking notes to go and repeat it somewhere else, okay? So sometimes it is better to talk to strangers, but talk to a stranger in the elevator or at the pool or whatever you are. The point is, have an outlet, discuss together, discuss separately, and work on your marriage. It is so worth it to have somebody to grow with and to share your life with. It is so worth it. But work on your marriage, guys, as I am working on mine. Now, I'm sure my husband is awake, so I gotta go upstairs. Bye.